When we talk about it, and I get in community meetings and people say, they all have mental health issue or substance use issues. And I always say, the majority of people with mental health issues are housed. The majority with substance use issues, maybe your neighbor, they're housed. And if we really want to let's just get real. We have them in our own families. I have them in mine. And if we want to understand the challenges of challenging childhoods, of generational health crises, right? Of systemic racism, of rarely do you run across someone who experiences homelessness that when you really sit down and start talking to them, you understand the root causes, or many times they don't have some of the things or reasons that people will never experience homeless. The privilege of, having enough money, whether you work for it or you inherit it or whatever it may be. The privilege of having family members that own homes because you can move in with them and you can't do that in a rental property, right? For some, it's the connection of strong friends that they have. And yet when you grow up in a very traumatic childhood or experience, you also don't have all of those connections or a stable family to really support you. And then your family may have a history of health issues, right? It's not just cancer. It's not just heart disease. Mental health and substance use are health issues. And so I think if we're so afraid to talk about it in a way that then that fear, I think, shows up in how communities are fearful of us housing folks. If we can't talk about it, they're never going to be comfortable with it. And so I think we have to show up very comfortable in that space. Yeah. The advantage of having someone who's had these issues be housed is their care level, their own personal safety and safety to community. But let's be honest, most of us have that in our families anymore. You're going to struggle to find someone who doesn't have a family member, if not immediate, that has a mental health issue or substance use, whether legal or illegal. And unless we start just normalizing it and take that off the table, we're always going to struggle. What you're saying about authentic, right, messaging, you got to tell the whole truth.
Good, the bad, the ugly.
Because people, like you said, they do have a BS meter. Yeah. And when you lead with some of that, then it's like, now we're not going to have that conversation because you're not going to accuse me of not acknowledging what I see and I know. Yeah. And when you sort of get that in that conversation, it changes the conversation because most people want to be like, yeah, I do. I actually have that in my family.